Dropped their final game before the All-Star break last night, getting blown out by the Bucks, 110-93. OKC was without SGA for the fifth straight game. Jalen Williams due to injury. Both will be reevaluated after the All-Star break. But this was the Thunder's 14th loss of the year. That matches the total losses OKC had all last season, despite starting this year 24-1. Wendy's back with us, and David Dennis Jr. joins us now here on First Take. Didi, I'll go to you first. Who is more likely to win the West? Is it the Thunder or the Field?
Okay, I'm taking the Field here, and this is why. So I think when you say one person or one team versus the Field, they kind of have to have a level of dominance that reigns so far above everybody else. Like when I think of somebody versus the Field, I think of like Tiger Woods versus the Field. I think of KD Warriors versus the Field, Jordan Bulls versus the Field. The Thunder are not that dominant at this moment to be in that position right now, because you look at them at the beginning, they were 24-1. At that point, I thought they were going to win 75 games. I was saying the Thunder are definitely locks to win a championship. Right now, since then, they've been 18-13. The three-point shooting has fallen off a bit. SGA is injured. I have concerns about J-Dub and that health. And the other teams, I think, do not fear the Thunder in the way that they did maybe at the beginning of the season, especially when you look at the Spurs. The Spurs are not afraid of that Thunder team, and they punched them in the mouth 3 of those times they played against them. I think the Nuggets are right there with them. Health, of course, being a big concern when you talk about Aaron Gordon, the hamstrings, things like that. But those two teams absolutely could take Oklahoma City to 7 games. And when you have two teams in your conference that can take you to 7, you got to say that the Field has a shot.
Okay, Spurs, only team to beat the Thunder twice this season. Wendy, would you take the Thunder or the Field in the West?
As a quick aside, I just want to point out that the Bucks have won 5 of their last 6 games without Giannis, and Giannis is planning on coming back soon. I don't know what it accomplishes for them, but I think we should note that with that win. The safe answer, not even necessarily the safe answer, the smart answer, Shay, is what David just said, which is to take the Field. And you would say, look, there hasn't been a repeat NBA champion since the Warriors in 17-18. There actually hasn't even been a repeat finals team to get to the finals 2 years in a row since the Warriors went 5 years in a row and ended in 2019. And that team, you remember, fell to pieces. So you could say, like, of course you wouldn't pick a team to repeat, especially a team that's struggling like this with health. And they really are. I mean, they had a real setback on Wednesday when Jalen Williams, he missed 10 games with that hamstring injury. They brought him back for the last game before the All-Star break, and he re-injured it. I promise you, they're head slapping, going, why did we bring him back? But I'm sure they thought he was okay. So you look at this and you got trouble across Oklahoma City, and that's all my preamble of saying, I'm still taking the Thunder. Because I still think at the highest level, when they put their stuff together, they're ceiling. Because, you know, they haven't been for the team for the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks. They haven't been the team they were when they started 24-1. But it's not like any of these injuries are season ending. It's not like we doubt that they can get back to that level. So look, if we get to May and they're still missing multiple starters, then we're going to have a different conversation. But because I believe they can get back to health, and because I believe I know what their ceiling is, Stephen A., I will accept all the stock anybody wants to sell me for the Thunder.
I say.
I don't blame you for that. So David, second day, no tie. We'll discuss that another time. Nice suit, though. Let me say this. I'm going to go with David on this one, with the Field, Wendy. I don't know if I trust that Jalen Williams is going to get healthy. Now, y'all got to remember last year, he was one of only 2 players, him and Evan Mobley, that were named to All-NBA teams and All-NBA defensive team. Jalen Williams is a huge piece to Oklahoma City's success and the aspirations we've attached to them for this season in terms of a pursuit for back-to-back championships. He's missed 30 games already this season. I find it hard to believe that he's ever going to be healthy for this year. You've got Shea that's been out with his abdominal strain. I think ultimately he'll come back, but he's missed 5 straight games. But that's still, looking at them, they started out 24-1. Ever since then, they're 18-13. You got to look at San Antonio. They've played 5 times. They've lost to them 4 times. We also got to look at the fact that the Denver Nuggets not only went in the offseason and addressed their depth, but also Jokic went down. He was injured. But now he's back. He got some rest. That's not usually what happens for him during the seasons. And last time we saw them in the postseason, they were in a Game 7 against a fully loaded Oklahoma City Thunder squad. So I think when you look at Oklahoma City, when you look at San Antonio, when you look at Denver, and then let's not forget that Houston is capable of starting 4 dudes at least 6'11", and you combine that with the fact that they got a bona fide number 1 option in KD as a closer, I think that it's fair to take the field in this particular instance. Oklahoma City's not fading into the twilight. They won't go away easily. They're not going to nosedive and fall off the map and suddenly not become a championship contender. But I could see them losing this year to the field and coming back next year and winning a championship, meaning winning 2 of 3 titles in 2 years before I see them going back to back.
Wendy?
Yeah, the thing about Jalen Williams that Stephen A. points out, that thumb injury that he had, now we got a hamstring injury, which sometimes these hamstring injuries, they're a thing. And you look at the fact that thumb injury, he had 2 procedures on that thumb, and he's come out and said, I'm not sure I'm going to be right this whole year. And if you want to build your case for somebody else around the fact that Jalen Williams, who we remember was so vital in that run last year, including that 40-point road game in Indianapolis. You score 40 points on the road in the finals, you got my respect forever. That's reasonable. But I'm not sure that even though the Spurs match up with the Thunder well because of their strength of their backcourt, I'm not sure they're ready yet. And I'm not sure that Denver is going to be able to get to that health either. Because if you're asking me to believe that Jalen Williams is not going to get healthy, I don't know whether Aaron Gordon's going to be healthy. He can't get his hamstring right, and he's a vitally important player. If he doesn't get hurt in that series last year, they may have been in the finals, and how can I be assured that? So I wish this wasn't the case, Shay. So much of this season, because of how close these teams are, is going to come down to health. And the healthiest team is probably going to come out of the West and the East.
I think we can all agree, though, when health is at full strength, the Thunder are pretty hard to top. I mean, we measure their success this year, like you heard me say. Right now, San Antonio is the only team to beat them twice. That's how we're measuring their record. Their ceiling seems to be higher than everyone else when they're at full health, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, Stephen A., it took him 2 days to agree with me. Just for him agreeing with my take for the first day. You get a tie next time, Stephen A. I'm rocking a tie next time just for you.
You better rap. Got to rap, bro.
Rap with the tie, just for you for next time. But yeah, I mean, part of this is the health, but also how the standings fall for the Thunder. Because if I'm the Thunder, I would actually hope that you get the Spurs 2, Nuggets 3 seed where they can match in the second round. Because if you have to go through that gauntlet of the Spurs right behind you too, which, by the way, the Spurs are only 3 games behind the Thunder. If SGA is out for a substantial amount of time, they could really chip into that lead. If you have to go first round, then you have to go Nuggets, then you have to go Spurs, that is a murderer's row for you to go through to the West. And then whoever you have to face in the East, whether that's somebody like Detroit who has a better defense than you right now, things like that, like the Knicks. So there is a really tough task for the Thunder to get there, even if they have health come playoff time.
They have been there before. SA, final word.
No, I just think, I just think it's going to be tougher for Oklahoma City. Even if you get healthy, you haven't been playing with each other all year long. That chemistry is going to be compromised to some degree, and we know that's going to be the case. So because of that, combined with the upgrades that we've seen in the conference with Houston, with Denver, with San Antonio, I just think it's really, really tough to take Oklahoma City ahead of the field, considering what they've been battling with this particular season. They'll get to the playoffs, they can make some noise, but in the same breath, I could see somebody knocking them off because they just ain't what they were.
Thunder scored 93 points last night. It's their fewest in a home game since 2022. Coming up here on First Take, Shams is going to try and get some buckets tonight in the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game. SA is going to dish out some advice for Shams Charania next. Plus, is Wemby the player we are all most excited to see in the All-Star Game this weekend? See if our panel thinks he's going to steal the show. More First Take.